either way. But we've been seeing Barat's win rate drop quite a bit after the recent nerfs. Trex, what do you feel about the hero now? Like after the patch fix, it doesn't seem like he's quite as prioritized as before.
Yeah, he's definitely not on the ban list anymore. But he's definitely, I mean, he's still viable. He can still hang out in the Lord Pit. He can still take the Fredrin off the map to get the Retry. But I really like this Florin pick. I was about to say I would like to see a support pick from the side of KGE. So I think it's solid. And this time the Roger won't have as many issues, you know, diving onto Homeboys here.
All right. I can see where you're coming from, and it does make a lot of sense, but I hope it's not going to negate the same aggression that King Empire had previously. Homeboys, a lot of high fives going around here. What is this last pick going to be? I'm kind of scared.
I don't know. If Udil is doing that with that much...
Yeah.
I mean, Udil is doing it with such gusto. It's got to be something, right? Ends up it's like a Changa or something irregular.
Oh, that's normal. Okay, that's normal.
Oh, thank goodness.
Crisis averted.
Crisis averted indeed.
All right, we're about to jump into the game very, very soon. Trex, once again, I'd like to hear your final thoughts. Will we get a Game 5?
I mean, looking at drafts, I actually like KG a bit here. Finally, Sasa doesn't have to worry about Carmilla and Fredrin and all these problems, so we could really see Sasa possibly pop off here. I think as long as they can make sure Sasa is able to get ahead of nets, it's the win con for KG.
All right, thank you very much, Trex. We'll talk to you after the game to see whether we get a full series here. We're jumping back into the land of dawn.
Well. Let's see if they bounce back. Can they drag it out or not? Because this is the time. This is the moment. This is their moment to shine bright like the stars in the sky. This is MPL MY Season 13. Game number 4 between King Empire versus Homebois.
Let's jump right into this. Let's see. This is a very intense match. They know that they can get eliminated if they drop this game, but at the same time, you got to wear your hearts on your sleeves. They're going to be starting on the same side of the map and end up towards that bottom side. Hopefully, it's going to be enough for these EXP laners to get a bit of help and a bit of pressure.
I already have highlighted many times how important the EXP lane is towards those early stages, and I think for KGE it's even more true because when Smooth gets unlocked, especially on a hero like Yuzong or Benedetta, he can make miracles happen. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more pressure coming in, but speaking of...
He's got Furious Dive. You should be able to get out of here.
Okay, you know, he's fine, you know. Okay, right now, what I'm seeing here coming from King Empire is that their win condition compared to the previous game about this Enchanter playstyle is that they have a dive composition which needs somewhat of a sustain. Having an Angela is great if you have Hearts Guard, but besides that, X-Win, if he's able to drag this game as long as he can, he does provide a lot more heals than usual than the traditional enchanters that we have, but early to mid game they just need to take this a little bit slow compared to before.
How slow though? I think like from KGE's side, if you can create an advantage in Sasa's lane, 100% do it, right? 100% invest in it. Because everybody else, like I'm expecting Smooth to not do too well against Sapa on the CC, or at the very least not find the kill. He just needs to go even and then start affecting these turtle fights. And King Empire have the option of just not fighting for the turtle in the first place.
But I think King Empire is willing to fight, right? Like we saw in the emblems, they actually have 3 members with cooldown reduction, X-Win, Detu, and Sutsujin. They're not going for damage emblems, they're not going for survivability emblems, and I think that's because they expect that with the Florin, they're going to be able to prolong fights. Therefore, being able to come out with more abilities is more valued in comparison.
I mean, sure, yes, but the main reason that they're not going to do it is because Smooth is not level 4, and he's going to be real late on this as well.
That is true.
And seeing this fight happen as well. Ooh, they're flickering forward. Okay, dropping a couple of spells in. Looking to try and jeopardize Sutsujin. But top side, they're diving back tier 2. Almost getting a kill on Nets there. Nets gets a free value goal. I don't think he got it, but at the same time, very, very aggressive plays down towards the gold lane. So this is huge. Meanwhile, maybe missing the Daytona's welcome there. Not going to be able to connect on one, but this is actually huge, you know. Like, I was expecting more of a lead coming from Chibi, though.
Honestly, these spot dodges from King Empire have been kind of insane. Sutsujin just dashing away from Udil at the last second, X-Men flickering away at the last seconds. Like, I don't even know how they're doing it. King Empire Esports looking a lot more confident right now, and that's exactly what they need against the defending champions. Homeboys, we'll see what they can create.
It's some good composure that we're seeing from KGE, but at the same time, we need to see some advantages be created. If not, Homeboys, they've been making sure that these early games have been pretty rough for the side of KGE, and it really just boils down to like one lane, either one lane finds an advantage, or we see one terrible decision being made.
Okay, Dato, you know, getting focused down once more. We've seen this happen again multiple times, and he is going to be able to survive it for now, but again, Homeboys, they haven't made a lot of engagements here. Chibi is trying to make an attempt here. He's going to pull back Smooth. Oh, he actually catches right at the edge. They told us, welcome. This is what they need, Smooth. He needs to get out. What?
He wins this.
He somehow
Kill him too.
turns the tide, gets the kill on Chibi, and now he's going to try to stand up for the team. He will die to the hands of Sepa. Suzuki will re-engage and intercept this, but the guiding winds will get him out to safety. What a blunder from Homeboys.
Oh, I saw the angle for Smooth to get a double kill there. He whiffs mid-Petra. He whiffs mid-Furious dive. He wanted Sepa to take a tower shot, lock him underneath just by the edge of the tower, and he gets that double kill for sure.
Yeah, the only thing uglier than that play was my face after I saw it. It was opportunities for both sides that were just missed out. I feel like Chibi just didn't realize he was still underneath the tower. And then Smooth could have gotten that kill. But at the very least, it means it ends up being kind of even here. Homeboys a slight lead as they go for the next turtle.
Well, speaking of turtle fights, this is definitely going to be in the hands of Homeboys, right? There's no way King Empire contest this until like at least the third turtle, where Florin is going to have additional heals here, especially with the Dew is going to do a little bit more damage for the team. In this case, Sasa will definitely be looking for opportunities to dive the back lines. Like, I think Trex brought up a very good point. They need Sasa to be enabled, and if he's chain stunned or chain locked here, he's not going to be able to do too much in these fights.
Honestly, disagree. I think they need to enable Smooth right now because Sasa's job is a lot easier to do in comparison to Smooth's. And unfortunately, without that Black Dragon form, they have a lot less, what do they call it? Pressure? I wouldn't even say pressure, but a lot less neutral take power, right? He has a good way of kind of disrupting the battle formations of a lot of teams, and I think the important thing here is that Petrify, because once he's able to find a good combination on the back line, it's going to force Zoran to start being defensive, and that's going to put King Empire in a really good position to start running down their targets like we saw in the previous game.
Yeah, being able to deny that utility from a Matilda is going to be crucial for King Empire, and Smooth has done so quite successfully in previous outings as the Yuzong. I expect it to be even more obvious in a game like this where they only have a Barat as a frontline.
I mean, we say that Smooth wasn't even able to secure the kill onto GB. He ended up getting executed because he wasn't able to.
We don't talk about that.
I mean, he's good with the mental game, all right, but we'll see whether or not it starts to get to him.
Speaking of mental games here, like, it seems like they're just dodging every single fight. Like, King Empire just doesn't want to come into the fight. They've lost one death. The lead isn't that big of a margin here, but it seems like power spike wise, when do they actually engage?
Ooh,
bottom lane though. Okay, Sapat.
Okay.
Ooh, almost dying there, so a little bit of mistakes here, but they told us welcome, catches Axeman, that's huge! The healer is down, so that's gonna be the opening Homeboys is looking for. King Empire, they're not coming into this, they see 4-man down top, so Turtle gonna be in the contest, but again, Homeboys, they finally find the Florin, so that's a small victory for them.
I mean, they're also going to get the turtle as well. Overall, I think King Empire are totally fine with Homeboys actually taking this turtle initially, especially since, like, Sutsujin, he's already a level down, and let's also not forget, he was pretty chunked out at that point of time. Now that Dew is being passed over to Sasa, I think at this point, King Empire recognized that, hey, there is a very good chance that we can actually play for the late game. Our biggest problem is that we couldn't scale as hard, but now, with this Trinity build on the Roger, on top of having Dew, once it reaches that maximum form, he's going to have a lot of on-hit damage.
Yeah, I think it's smart, considering Homeboys having the carry and the CC was what messed up King Empire in Game 1 and 2, because they just had more late game damage overall. So Sasa switching up his item build to make sure that he can match once that phase of the game comes about is probably the smart choice to go for here. King Empire doesn't want to fall victim to another tempo break.
Well, Sutsujin, as of yet, he is getting zoned out a little bit too much here. He's trying to set up a play for the team, but every single time that happens here, KGE is either CC immune or gets saved by the guiding wind. In this case, Zorn, right now, he is going to be a little bit cheeky. He's trying to get in the heads of Sasa, trying to commit to this fight, but again, King Empire just is so disciplined. They're just not committing to anything as of yet.
I think they're nervous, right? I feel like even for King Empire, there's no real reason to get into these fights. Nothing to fight over, more importantly. And if they don't protect Sasa right now, they're about to lose a tier 1.
Well, in this case, Sasa is going to be able to get out. Sujin gets pulled back, but Homeboys, they do take a tier 1 up top, so that's huge for Homeboys.
I'm a little worried. Like, I know King Empire is playing a little bit more for the late game here since Sasa is going Trinity and they have a Valentina, but I do feel like they should be fighting a little bit, especially aside Smooth. It's Homeboys who are the ones just like invading, putting pressure on them. It feels like King Empire is reverting a little bit. They're playing too respectful, if you ask me.
I don't think it's too respectful. I think it's necessary, right? I mean, I'm looking at Chibi and I'm also looking at Zorn. Both of them right now work in tandem with each other. If you are caught by yourself, there's a very good chance Homeboys just like slowly walk you back to your turret and put you at 10% HP. And I think that's too much to deal with as of right now until we see at least 3 core items from KGE.
Yeah, but I think this first Lord is where King Empire is going to be able to do a little bit more, right? Like, Sasa's got the better deal here. X-Win's level 8, so technically we have a little more heals coming from him. Meanwhile, Chibi is looking for the play. Dito does have the Eternal Guard. Has been dropped here coming from Udil. Zones move off, and needs to make a reset for this fight. Black Dragon not available. Is too far off. Now the Lord being hostage by Homeboys. They're putting up a little bit more pressure to keep on forward as well. Sujin going for the play. Appraiser's Wrath. Does he get it? No. The Totem's welcome to eat him out alive, but he's still not dead yet. He's going to drop the Appraiser's Wrath soon, but now here it comes. He gets the Lord, and now Sasa scaring Homeboys from the sides. You can see Homeboys just running away in this demise, and King Empire, they take the Lord.
I mean, good play coming out for the side of KGE. Quick distraction, saying, hey, I'm a priority target. Look at me, look at me. And Sasa still manages to escape with plenty of healing coming up from X-Win. And obviously the on-hit coming in from Do. But let's not forget what the rest of the team is doing, right? They're angling to make sure that the Homeboys don't have an opportunity to start walking Sasa down back to that tier 1.
Consider me proven wrong. The respectful play is still working out for King Empire. They get the objective. Their net worth, unfortunately, still a little bit behind their opponents, but as long as Sasa keeps up, they're still going to be in a pretty solid place overall. So I guess we'll see what happens next here, whether or not King Empire wants to start stepping on the gas once Sasa gets his full itemization.
I definitely think they should, right? Cut off rotation paths, look for obvious picks. At the very least, like, posture for these buffs. Don't give Homeboys this free econ.
Well, speaking of economy here, this purple buff, Sujin, he does have the retreat. He needs to win it though. Oh, okay, he didn't get it. Chibi does have the level advantage, so he tried to go in for the play, but Chibi still, he's slowly losing out his level advantage. Sorry, his power spike early advantage here on as a Barrage now.
I don't know. KGE, off of this Lord, they should be able to get at least 3,000 gold back, but it's not happening.
Okay, Smooth going for the Petrify play on Sapat, but Sapat
what
does
is
have the Purify.
happening?
He's dodging the fight, and now Chibi is going to get taunted out as well here. Chibi looking for the Daytona's welcome, guiding Wind, saves him, finally gobbles up on towards Sunsujin. He needs to survive this, but the Praiser Rock comes in. Dato finds Chibi, and now Ned's getting taunted out. That's the pick the King Empire needed. Sasa able to dive to the back lines. That's 2 very easy picks for King Empire.
What is happening here? When KGE, honestly, KGE should have gotten more off the Lord push. But even Homeboys, what was the condition for that fight? Like, take out Sutsujin? That's not what the game plan is supposed to be. It's all very combo oriented with Udil, unless they've got a clear shot at people like Sasa, people like Detto. I think Sutsujin takes the back seat.
It's very weird because King Empire were put on the back foot because they didn't get much with the Lord. They allowed Sapat to get a free tier 2 up top. They were split, so they were already taking a fight at a numbers disadvantage. But then Homeboys also makes the mistake of investing a bit too deep on the wrong target, not focusing Sasa, letting him get free damage onto the back line, losing net. Mistakes are being made by both sides here, honestly.
I don't know why they're playing so nervous, right? The mid-tier 1 should have collapsed ages ago at this point. At the very least, off of KGE having that much control over the purple side of Homeboys' jungle. But at this point, when we're looking at the damage rankings, Udil, Chibi, both sitting on top, Sasa just under them.
I'm actually surprised that Chibi is that high up. Like, Barad's already had his damage nerfed recently, so it shows that he can still be quite a threat. But right now, the net worth lead is pretty negligible.
Boy.
Oh boy, now with the Lord now being danced coming in. Sutsujin looking for the plays. Down towards very low. Black Dragon expended as well. Trying to collapse on the back lines as well. Sutsujin is dropping so low. He needs to praise around. He needs to get the last hit. He needs to drop on the Lord. Can he get it? No, he misses the timing. GB still somehow from afar snipes the Lord with a retry. And now King Empire, they have to back off, but they need to find some sort of trade in Homeboys. They're able to get away with the steal.
I feel like this is a mess. I don't really feel like there's a lot of logic happening here.
I think right now, King Empire, they're waiting for Homeboys to make a mistake. Like, King Empire had a clear 5v3 advantage knowing that Nets and Zorn are on the top side of the map. They did not want to initiate a fight. They did not want to go in, maybe poke out Chibi at the very least. You don't get the Daytona's welcome out of him. They need to get something. Unfortunately, they got nothing.
The desperation is starting to seep in, but at the same time, they're a little bit too afraid here. Taunt comes in as well. The Lord going to be crashing on the top side. Homeboys, they want to collapse on this. Sasa has to make quick work with the Lord, but it's going to fall. The inhibitor comes in. Dato zoning them off. Purple buff already being set up from the side of Homeboys, but the first inhibitor will crack on the top side. Homeboys looking to knock King Empire out of the tournament for now. As they continue their assault, Tier 2 will be next to fall. King Empire, they've got to make a move eventually, or they will lose their chance. It's up now, finally taking a little bit too much, but the Purify once more gets moved out to safety. That's the only play the King Empire did, and they couldn't even execute on it.
I feel like King Empire is reverting a little bit to this old Team SMG habit. They're playing a little bit too safe, a bit too reactive overall, waiting for Homeboys to make like an obvious mistake. And to be honest, Homeboys are making mistakes. It's just they're not being capitalized on.
It's hard. I don't know. I feel like at this point, King Empire, the peripherals are starting to get very blurry here, right? This has been a pretty decently long game. They've already played a couple so far. And I think the worst part about it is that there is no clear way of getting in onto the side of the Homeboys. It's very much adaptive. It's very much who makes that first mistake and who outpositions who.
If you ask me personally, I feel like these teams are starting to outposition themselves. I don't really feel like there's a lot of logic happening in their approach. Homeboys have control of the map right now, so at the very least they have that advantage to play around. King Empire, unfortunately, having the Florin as the roamer doesn't have the best setup. They're relying quite heavily on Smooth. It's a tough spot for them.
Well, speaking of a tough spot right now, King Empire, Zizujin, he needs to secure this purple buff. He is going to try and commit to this fight, but nope, he doesn't have the retribution. But guess who stole it? You guess who stole it? Who's flexing it? It's got to be Zord. He's just straight up taunting Zizujin. How could you lose to a roamer? In this case, Homeboys looking to close out the series with 2 inhibitors fallen from King Empire. This Lord is what stands between victory and defeat for both sides.
I think Homeboys have conditioned KGE very, very well. They can get they can get like a split push on the side and maybe set up for a backdoor angle. And I think that's what KGE is worried about.
Oh my goodness, the Daytona's welcome, catching Zizujin. He needs to drop the praises rough. He needs to get out in a sidestep with Cyclone Knife. He eventually gets run down by Serpent. He will die. Chibi is dropping down low, but he will have the immortality to keep things alive. Sasa needs to get out to safety. It's down towards a 3v4 here. Homeboys has the jungle advantage, but they just don't have the front line, and the waves are crashing on the King Empire. Homeboys, they will be able to secure this. They need Sasa to pull the big W. It's got to be hard. The damage is there. Lord, he almost gets taken out, but it's Sasa versus Ness. He needs to survive this. He gets 1 kill, but he will fall. And now, Homeboys, they are going to shatter the dreams of King Empires. The king will be slain. It might be over. It's only X-Win. It's done for. King Empire has been eliminated. Homeboys will continue into the lower bracket finals.
GG, well played to the Homeboys. They did so well. They tested what they needed to test, but at the end of the day, it's the better team who moves on. Homeboys prove once again they deserve to belong here.
The defending champions' journey does not end here. They have halted the advance of the Empire. But props to KGE, they have grown so much. They've evolved as a team and gave us a true show here on the MPL playoff stage.